to the one the Celtic fans view this morning. Hope it's fine and sunny where you are, wherever you're watching this video. Celtic are making the headlines down in West Brom territory due to the fact that Mikey Johnston's played so good, and all the noise is coming out of there that they should make Mikey Johnston a first team choice next summer. They want to make sure that they buy Mikey Johnston for Celtic. There is a player that hasn't really been mentioned much throughout this transfer speculation around Celtic, and I'm going to talk about why Celtic might actually make a move for this player because he's under freedom of contract this summer, and is a player that has been spoken about before, but people say no, he's not good enough for Celtic. But we know the Celtic way, and I'm going to tell you, I think this is why Celtic will probably make a move, maybe for this player in the summer. Anyway, we'll talk about Mikey Johnston first. Mikey Johnston broke into the Celtic team at 18-year-old. He was full of promise, and things didn't go his way, even under the manager his first time round. And then comes in Ange Postecoglou and Neil Lennon first, and then Ange Postecoglou. And Mikey Johnston still couldn't get into the team. So Mikey Johnston then went out on loan to Portugal just to get some first team football, where he had a reasonably successful season. He then came back to Celtic under the current manager, Brendan Rodgers, and even when it goes back to last November, and Brendan Rodgers said about Mikey Johnston, he said, look, Mikey needs to do better. He needs to do better. He needs to grab the bull by the horns, and that's the reality. He's not a baby anymore. Remember that comment? He's not a baby anymore. He's 24-year-old, and he needs to take his chance. Well, again, he took his chance. He got a little bit of a run. He got into the team. And he scored some goals, and he done okay. But a lot of people are still saying that he's not Celtic class, and that he should move on. So he did. He moved on down to West Brom, and they're saying that, look, they've got the money. They should look to acquire Mikey Johnston, who's been a revelation. Will Celtic sell Mikey Johnston, or will the manager want him back at Celtic? I think if we do lose Mikey Johnston, we lose one of the players that come under the Scottish quota. And that's one of the reasons that he was kept around. Let's be fair, it was because we needed him for the Scottish quota. So if we lose Mikey Johnston, the Scottish quota player, we need to bring in another one in. And that's when it turns my attention to a player that this season played for Copenhagen. And they also played, I think they played Man City. That hence the thumbnail with this player and Herlander. Will they be reunited this summer in America when Celtic play Manchester City? Will Scott McKenna be the man that sits in that defensive partnership with Cameron Carter-Vickers? And I could see you rolling your eyes and spitting out your coffee and saying, oh, God damn, no, please. But the former Aberdeen player who is on loan at FC Copenhagen from Nottingham Forest this season is out of contract in the summer. He is out of contract in the summer. He has been linked with a move to Celtic before. But the fact that he's a free agent, and he would add to the Scottish quota for players is one of the reasons that I think Celtic will go for him and make a contract offer to him. Whether that's true or not, I mean, it could just be me thinking wide of the mark. But when you think about it, when it comes down to the European football and the homegrown quota that's needed, I think Scott McKenna is probably one that Celtic are looking at in the background, just on a basis of if we do lose a player like Mikey Johnston or other Scottish players, and they have to make it up somehow. It could be the fact that we might make a move for Scott McKenna. How would you feel about that? Do you think Scott McKenna is a player that would displace Liam Scales? Because we were talking about it on the live last night, and we were saying that Liam Scales, when you look at it on paper, and the players will have a decision to make at the end of the season. The players will be asked to nominate the player of the season. And when you look at it, they'll be thinking along the lines of who's been most consistent, who's made the position their own, and who's been pretty much undroppable in the team. And you've got to say, Liam Scales ticks all the boxes. For that. He's came into the team, he's most improved player. He was out in Aberdeen. He was going back to Aberdeen this season. He's grabbed the bull by the horns, like Brendan Rodgers said. He's made that shirt his own. So he's improved. He's made the shirt his own. He's had a consistent run of games over the season. And you could say it's putting him up there for player of the season. And that's probably how far backwards Celtic have been this season. So would it make sense for Celtic to go for Scott McKenna to bring in some Scottish blood into the back of the defence if Mikey Johnston is sold this summer. Tell me what you think about that in the comments section, and tell me what you think about Liam Scales possibly being player of the season. Anyway, we all know about Mikey Johnston's talent that he now has at 24-year-old. I think Celtic would be it would be good to just get some money for him. Face it this way: if we can get £2 million for David Turnbull, who only had 6 months left in his contract, surely we're going to get £3 million minimum for Mikey Johnston, who's got a year. Anyway, another player that Celtic have been linked with over the past few years is the Brøndby striker. And the Brøndby striker one, this story doesn't go away. This story doesn't seem to go away, but will Celtic finally make a move for Matthias Kidsford-Garden? Will they finally make a move for him this summer? It's going to be an interesting summer, and it all depends what happens with the whole Adam Ida thing. Is Kidsford-Garden better than Adam Ida? Will the manager go with Adam Ida because of the Irish connection? I have no idea. It's definitely going to be an interesting summer. When it comes to it, West Brom are going to make a move, and other Celtic transfer news. There's not a lot going to kick around. Obviously, there's a lot of speculation with 3 different goalkeepers that we've been mentioned with. The guy from Holland, the guy from Turkey, and then the guy that's playing for Liverpool. Take your choice. Celtic, you know what Celtic will do? They'll come out and they'll find a player that no one is even talking about. Anyway, it's just a quick one this morning for your Celtic news because there's not a lot going around. It's international break week. Hopefully there'll be some breaking news tomorrow, but I doubt it. Anyway, we'll still be live at 6 o'clock this evening, so make sure you join us. Celtic part-time, 6 o'clock this evening, where we can talk about pretty much anything Celtic if you like. And on that note, have a fantastic day, Celtic fans all around the world.
Lit. Roll up to the party, roll up to the